Hey guys, I'm Nat.
And I'm Ashton, and
And
we are the Nerds in Flannel.
Bro, you were almost there with me, man. You were almost there with me.
You were almost there with me. What are you talking about?
Guys, welcome back to an extra special episode of Nerds in Flannel.
Hey, yo.
Ashton, February 2021 was a very... No, actually, no. February 2022.
Yes.
Man, all the years are... welding together.
They just kind of stitch in after a while.
It's true. Was it 9 months ago? We started this podcast.
Dude,
right,
this podcast is our baby.
Literally.
It's taken us 9 months, but here we are.
9 months, man. 9 months, and has grown into 50 episodes of the podcast.
Woo! Yeah, let's go.
So this is... Well, okay, so this is the 50th numbered episode, but we have more than 50 episodes.
Yeah,
because
100%.
we have just Chillings. What you're watching since bonus episodes. So, look out for more of these episodes because, these are kind of the episodes where we really just like hang out and we just talk and ask each other weird questions.
Yeah, it's just a hangout time. Hangout time with the boys. But it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, just you and me, man. Like it's been a while.
It's been like this summer. I'm a completely different person now.
It's true. I mean, we're both changed, man. It's crazy.
We changed a lot. Like my beard was probably just a little bit shorter last time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can tell.
My hair was my hair was way longer last time, actually.
I forget what I looked like last time.
So
like
yes,
August. This
is our 50th episode, and we thought we'd just hang out, go back to our roots, as you will.
Yeah,
and, because we were gonna do something big for our 50th, but with exams and Christmas coming up very, very soon. Christmas is in like how many weeks? Like 5 weeks.
Yeah, or wait, let's see. Let me count.
Because it's like 4 weeks.
It's the beginning of like Advent right now. Like
for
church
those
calendars.
Christians. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
First, I did Advent at church today, so
4
it's
weeks in
away.
like exactly 4 weeks.
This is on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then New Year's is 5 weeks away. Dude, that's crazy.
Insane. We only have 5 weeks left in 2022. You know what I say? Good riddance, sir. No.
I mean, it's been a decent year.
Honestly, I think out of all the 2020s we've had so far, 2022 is the best. Just because we started the pod.
It was 2020 sucked balls.
2020 was like, we don't talk about it.
No.
If you didn't catch that reference, unsubscribe. No, don't. We love you.
Yeah, please subscribe.
Please
we
say subscribe.
Love that.
Yeah. Okay, Nat.
Yes.
If you had to pick between 2021 and 2022, which one are you picking and why?
Oh, dude, do you know what? Oh, man. Because I kind of like just melded them together, honestly. Like, dude, I don't know. I'm going to say, do you know what? I think the fondest memories I've had with school and just like hanging out with people, I think would have to be 2021.
Okay.
Because spring semester of 2021 was kind of weird. We're coming off our second year, and it's kind of coming out of COVID, and it's kind of a weird scenario where we have to wear masks still, and really be careful with what we do. And then you come to, and the summer for me was actually pretty good. I hung out with you a lot.
Yeah,
obviously.
That's true.
And just hung out with my family, just had a good summer, and it was okay. And then fall 2021, I can honestly say it was life-changing. Moved on dorms, and I think that was one of the biggest things for me, where it kind of just sucked me into a community where you love each other. Shout out to the PLBC fam.
Hey,
Pack Life fam.
Represent.
And let's go. I'm wearing Stitch, by the way. For those who are wondering, it's Stitch.
Hey, yo. Hey, he's still family. He's still Ohana.
Ohana means family. 2021 was kind of it felt long, but with time goes by when you're having fun, right? Time flies by when you're having fun. So, yeah. What about you, Ashton? 2021 versus 2022.
I think I would take 2022
Okay.
over 2021, but for very similar reasons. Like for me, like summer 2021, actually, okay, it's gonna sound weird. Summer 2020 was probably like one of my best summers of like the whole like pandemic time, if we're calling it
Summer
like pandemic area.
2020.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's because there's like a few weeks in there where they lowered restrictions enough for like me and my family to go out to like do like these big adventures. Obviously still like being safe and stuff, but like we did like a house swap with some family in like Kelowna. So like
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember you telling me
2021
that.
kind of paled in comparison. Just because things were still a little like locked down tighter. Uh, and it was, I don't know, just kind of it was weird ending year two, like coming out of our second year, and still like having some things online and some things in person, and then it
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
weird, man.
yeah, then we kind of transitioned, and it was like, oh well, we're here now. We're in the summer, and it just kind of blew past. But I think for
Right.
me, like 2022, I mean, like when we started this pod, obviously that's kind of when I started hanging out on dorms a little bit more. Fall 2021, I was just kind of like surviving,
Right.
just at home trying to survive. And it was a little tougher. But then, once spring hit and I think some of yeah, I just kind of was able to be around people a little bit more in 2022 after things like restrictions lowered and all this other stuff. It was like, okay, now I'm kind of getting life back on track a little bit. And yeah, I mean, summer was great. Like I still got to do a lot of stuff with with my family. And then, it's funny because like there was one week in there where I was like away from home pretty much like the whole week, doing different things. Like it was the week that we had our retreat, like our SLT retreat.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like right after that, stayed at my grandparents for like one night just because my house was getting renovated, and then literally took off the day after to Vancouver Island with my family for a bit. Drove back at like 3 in the morning in order to get back in time for Ode Week, which was
Dude,
like
what a
also just
trooper, man.
yeah, it was
What
crazy.
a guy.
I drove like 2 hours. Or no, yeah, no, it was about 2 hours. 2 hours back to Nanaimo from where we were, and then just like, yeah, it was just part of the adventure. I took a lot more risks this year, and obviously,
You're
podcast is a
growing,
bit of a
brother. There
risk.
you
I'm
go.
growing. There's so much growth here. So yeah, hey, similar reasons, different years.
I don't do like honestly, since COVID. Actually, doing what? I don't remember. Really, we haven't been friends really since. Wait, no. Here. Let me rephrase that. We haven't been friends without COVID in it, really,
Yeah, that's true.
because I mean, like 3 4 months. Like, we were friends, but we were like bros, right?
Yeah,
And then COVID happened, and then we're like, okay, we gotta get this through. Get through this together, man.
yeah.
And that's when the Jackbox started, and then the like 2.5 hour, 3 hour Zoom calls playing like just random stuff.
We had poker that one night, like online poker. There wasn't
Oh,
like actually
that
any
was the
gambling
worst.
involved. It was just
No,
kind of
yeah,
like us
dude,
chilling.
virtual money.
Virtual money. Uh, dude, that was actually, if you think about it, that was such a clutch time because like the people you really wanted to stay connected with, you would like go out of your way to do stuff online with.
Yeah,
And
like Zoom
then
call.
whenever it was safe, like we would always like do our best to meet up in person. But
Yeah,
obviously there's still other things with that. But anytime you wanted to meet up with someone in person, it was like a risk.
yeah. I mean, you could mask up, but like, I mean, for at least for as for you and I, we have like autoimmune people in our lives, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard, right? But
Yeah.
I remember just like, yo, let's just like hang out at like Willow, and we'll wear a mask and just do whatever.
Dude, the amount of Willow runs we did, like we would like do like our Langley circuit. Okay, so for those that don't know,
Yeah, explain it to them.
yeah, we live well, I live at least very close. Our school's kind of located really close to a city called Langley. And in Langley, that's kind of where Willow Video is, like this video game store we always talk about. Also Toy Traders, which is like the ultimate like nerd paradise.
The
It's like a
biggest
nerd
toy store
museum,
in British Columbia.
biggest toy store in BC.
Is it North America? Actually, I thought it was North America.
I don't know. Like I can't
It's
think of
big.
anything else on the top of my head that would like outrank it. It's just like very diverse, like comic books. There's like used stuff, but then there's like every fan base. You look at the ceiling, it's like just look at pictures. Look at pictures. Do yourself a favor, or visit if you're close enough. It's crazy. Everyone I've taken there is like, whoa.
People love it.
People love it. We do like Willowbrook Mall. Yeah, we just like find places to eat. It was a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the only place we could really go to, anyways, because it was like big enough where you could like stay 6 feet apart, but also just like hang out. And I remember like us meeting out at like Krause Farms with Ethan. Shout out Ethan Johnson. And then turning out we didn't even buy anything there. We just went and met up there, and we ended up going to Langley anyways.
Yeah, it was 15 minutes away from like where we'd usually hang out, and that's kind of what started it. It was like, hey guys, want to go to Kraus this one time? And it was like, well, that turned out to be a bus. Let's just go over to like Willow and hang out. So it was like, and it's all kind of within the same area. Like anything you need to get to is like a 5-minute drive away from the other store.
Yeah,
So it's pretty
to be
chill.
fair, Ashton lives like 15 minutes away. No, 10 minutes away from Langley. I live like 30, 40 minutes away.
Yeah, this bro made sacrifices. Like it was insane.
But that's when I had money because I wasn't spending anything. So I had like a little bit of money so I could just like drive to Langley. Actually, no, that was when gas was cheap anyways. That was when gas was like 99 cents a liter.
Yeah, so it wasn't even that bad.
No,
Like,
but like, and I
it-
just bought so much stuff like at Willow and stuff.
dude, the amount of amiibo we bought, it's crazy.
Dude, oh my gosh. That's when I started collecting amiibos. And then you gifted me like, what?
I gifted you Bowser.
Bowser. And then I gifted you a couple, right? Or something like
Yeah,
that?
you gifted me Zero Suit and Byleth.
Yeah. Which I ended up getting anyways too.
Both of them.
And then we just split a 2-pack a couple weeks ago.
Dude, I have mine right here.
Oh, you have yours? You have yours? Here, I'll show. Wait. Let's go.
Come on, camera. There we go.
Focus camera. Oh, it's so much
Yeah.
light on my camera.
So for
So try this one. We'll try
for
this
people that are nerdy enough
whatever.
to know
There you
this,
go.
in North America, the Steve and Alex amiibo come in a double pack. That's retail price is $40.
$39.99.
Yeah, so if you split it with a bro, it's only like 20 each.
22 each. Yeah.
22 each. Not a bad deal.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I know. Okay, people like say, okay, obviously my room's like a cornucopia of like collections and collectibles and stuff. People are like, why do you collect them? They didn't even do anything. They don't even bring you joy. And I'm like, joy. This is joy. Like, so, quick story. I've been looking for this amiibo for like 3 years, and I found one for $85 on Facebook Marketplace. Now I know $85 seems like a lot of money, but 2020 when I think it was like on it. I wasn't with you, but I went to Will with my parents just because. I found it for $40, and I texted Chanel. I'm like, yo, they have it. And then Chanel's like, oh, Chanel's my girlfriend, for those who don't know. She's like, Joe, you just wait. But you're there like next week. And then I literally go back the next day, and it's gone. So she's like, oh, and she felt kind of bad, which I don't know why, but you know, she's awesome. Anyways, I found it for $85 on Facebook Marketplace like 2 weeks ago, and I went to pick it up, and I had it in my hand, and I went to check. You know, I went to that guy's house to pick it up, obviously, and I look into his house because I meet him at the door, and I see in his living room his kids playing Smash Bros, and I'm like, "Yo, they're playing Smash. Gotta train them young." He's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Want to play?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I just go into this random guy's house, play Smash for about 20 minutes, and leave. Like honestly, it was kind of like the coolest thing, and it's this Joker from Persona 5 amiibo. I mean,
It's
tell
so
me
dope.
that doesn't look good.
Honestly, it's one of the best looking amiibo that they've made.
Yeah, I really like this one, the Olimar one. The Olimar one's underrated.
Olimar is crazy, dude. Like the glass
I
helmet
mean,
and
look at
everything.
this. Show and tell again time with Nat.
Yeah.
It's kind of, there we go. Sorry, my lighting's bad, but whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, like the only notably good looking one I have, like I think they're all good looking, But the only one that catches most people's eyes is like the 2D Mario
That one's dope.
that's in 3D. These used to be worth a lot. They've come down in price quite a bit. I didn't
I
even
know.
buy this to be like, because usually whenever I buy Amiibo, it's like, okay, Smash Bros. Or like some other game, and I kind of like, I want it to be a decoration, but I also want it to like be functional. And honestly, this one was just, I already had a Mario Amiibo, so I was just kind of like, hey, you know what? This would look great on the shelf. And then I started training it up as another Mario Amiibo for Smash with Spirits, and he sucks. He's so impossible to beat.
I should pick one of those up eventually. Honestly, I just need to pick up a Mario one eventually.
Pick up the brown and red one, like the one that's actually a little more accurate. Like
Oh,
this one's
okay.
the 3D World one, which is like still really dope.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I was one of my youth kids. I told him about Willow, all the way out in like North Delta. That's where I run a youth group, and I told him about like Willow and like all the amiibo and stuff there, and he's trying to get into collecting them. And he was just like, okay, like I'm gonna go next time in Langley. And then he texted me a couple of days later a picture of like the other Mario, because they had two of these in stock. They had this one and then the red one, like the red and brown one, for like the same price pretty much. I think that one was like maybe like $2 more or something. And then he texted me a picture of it, and I was in my head, I was thinking, shoot, I was gonna go pick that one out tomorrow. But they still had
snagged
this
it.
one. He snagged it, but it's one of those things too where you're cool with someone snagging it, because it's like, okay, it went to a good person,
Right.
and like someone who's gonna use it and like appreciate it. Unlike what happened with Joker the first time around. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they did. If they spent that much on it, they probably did appreciate it. To be fair,
I
it was only
mean,
$40, but
collecting's one of those things where you could spend your money on like other practical things like rent or like new pillowcases, but I don't know. I just like looking at these things. Obviously, for those who know, I have like over like 200 pop figures in my room, and I just started collecting because I just did. I kind of always wanted to collect action figures, and these were kind of like the most like diverse things to collect because they have like so many like different IPs at Star Wars, Marvel, The Godfather, like like
Ayo.
La La Land. Obviously, I have a couple back here. This is my Pikachu one, which is pretty dope. Yeah, and I mean, collecting is one of those things where it's like, some people see like don't. Some people hate it, but I think people nowadays are kind of like into collecting things. I like obviously I don't do it to like sell. I just like it because I think it looks good, and these are like things I grew up with, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
sentimental value.
I mean, honestly, like I feel the same way about shoes.
Right.
Like if
That's
I'm
more
gonna
expensive.
they're more expensive though. If I'm gonna collect shoes, like a good pair of shoes, I'm also gonna wear them. Like I'm gonna appreciate the heck out of them, like from like not just the aesthetics, but also like the anything about it. I'm gonna appreciate. So even with these, like whenever I have them displayed and they're mostly for aesthetics, I'm still gonna be that guy that like takes them out of the box and just kind of like enjoys what the creativity behind it, and like the memories I have with like the certain characters, or the stories, or even just engaging my imagination and with it. Get your mileage.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
true. All right, Asher, I wanna switch tracks a little bit.
Okay.
What is we've talked about good movies this year. We talked about bad movies this year. Now let's talk about your most disappointing movie of the year.
Morbius.
Since we that's the most disappointing.
No, I didn't really have high expectations for that one.
I was gonna say I'm like these were the expectations, and the movie went like down here.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I know what my most disappointing movie is.
Okay, hit me.
Lightyear.
Okay.
So
All right.
I've talked about this a lot on the pod. If you've listened to any of like our reviews or any of our like what you watchins, or even like we did a most anticipated movies of 2022 episode, and I was like really hyped for Lightyear just because as a kid, like Buzz Lightyear was my jam. Toy Story was one of my favorite movies growing up. Toy Story 2 especially, and like I had like the costumes, I had like the shirts that I'd wear every day, I had the slippers, I had like the exclusive toys. Like my grandparents just went all out, and even my parents went all out with whatever they could get me from the ages of like pretty much 0 to like 5 years old, getting me all the Buzz Lightyear stuff.
Sick.
So when I heard they were making a movie and it was like the movie that Andy watched, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so hype. Like I can't wait for this. And then I saw the movie, and honestly, there wasn't even enough hype about the movie after it came out for me to even want to go see it in theaters. Like there was better stuff to watch.
Yeah,
So
I remember being like, "Well, we can just go next week," and we never did.
yeah, and then it was like, okay, well they're putting it on Disney Plus in like a month anyway. So should we even spend money on this right now? And then I watched it here at home, and I was pretty disappointed. It was not
It's a
great.
good film. It's just like a lot of people didn't like it. I mean, not just like movie people, but a lot of like normal people didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was very surprised about. I guess it didn't hit that nostalgia feel for me. That's what Ash and I were talking about the other day. Actually, was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
No, was it yesterday? No,
No, it was Friday.
Friday. Today's Sunday, right? And yeah, I felt like it needed to be more like retro, if that's the right word, just because obviously it doesn't look like a movie that Andy would have watched. But I get it. They wanted to make something look good, but I
And-
feel like when you market it as the movie that Andy watched, it needs to be and look like the movie Andy watched.
Yeah, and even
Great looking movie though.
even story wise, like they were trying to do unexpected things, where like for example the big Zurg plot twist. Like we know Zurg is a character from Toy Story 2. Shouldn't have happened in this movie.
No.
This got really nerdy real quick, but I'm like severely disappointed about that, especially. I'm one of those guys. Like, I was actually watching a video on this. Yeah, like probably after we hung out, I came back, was doing homework, put on like a couple videos about the evolution of Pixar's 3D animation tech and how that's kind of always like or how that evolved movie to movie. So like the different systems and programs and hardware that they'd have to create in order to get things to do certain things. Like for Monsters Inc., the ability instead of like animating all the hair on like Scully to just like building in like a system to automatically figure out what the hair would look like and to animate it all. Like genius stuff. And then they use that for like Ratatouille and evolved it further and like all this other stuff. Like I think it was like Business Insider that did those videos. Watch them, they're amazing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Business Insiders. The ones on YouTube, like the quick, like 15-minute ones. Oh, they're so good.
They're so good. And one of the key things they kept saying in those videos is Pixar has always cared about story before technology. Like they would write a really amazing story and then take like 5 years to build the technology and then like another like 5 or so years actually creating the movie. And something that I think, especially like living in a period with like Marvel, where they are planning long in advance, but like they're able to pound out like these really big blockbuster movies in like 2 years or so.
Crazy, man.
Something that I'm kind of like feeling is like maybe they're just not working as hard in the story department as they are in like the business department anymore. Like, not saying that it was like really like that bad. It's still, you can still go and like, if you're not a hardcore Toy Story fan, you still might enjoy Lightyear. But like if you go in and you were expecting like this story on the scale of like Toy Story that kind of absolutely like blew you away as a kid, it's just not the same vibe.
Yeah, I get that.
Even with like the latest, like I was even reading, I haven't seen like Strange World yet. Is that the new Pixar one? Or is it just Disney? I forget. I haven't seen it yet.
I think it's Disney Pixar.
Yeah. Okay. Like I haven't seen it yet, but it was nowhere close to reaching the amount of money they wanted it to make on opening week, which is kind of sad, but it's also one of those things too. And I can't judge the movie because we haven't seen it yet, but you kind of have to start wondering, like, with all the past Pixar releases that have come out, if like maybe people are just kind of not enjoying the storytelling as much anymore.
Maybe it could be that, or just like, honestly, there's better things to watch this weekend. Like,
Yeah, release
I'm not saying
periods
that-
is a big
yeah.
thing.
I mean, I haven't seen. I like obviously, like we said, we haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming there's better things to watch, because it's one of those movies where you're gonna go watch eventually. It's just you're not gonna go opening day. You're not gonna go out of your way to watch it, right?
Yeah.
Like right after this, I'm gonna go watch Devotion with my dad. So, obviously I didn't pick Strange World, whatever, Stranger Things, whatever it's called. Um, and then we're skipping that, and we're gonna watch The Fablemans on Tuesday, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's just like choice for people, and also like I said, Bones and All's out this weekend. The new Knives Out's out this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's yeah, there's other things to watch. People like you really have to be aware about when you release films and where they land in the calendar.
Yeah.
I think the best time to release a movie is like February to April, because that's when like the movies, like what's the word? That's when movies are kind of not as, people aren't gonna go see them because they're not summer blockbusters, right? But and they're just before or after Oscar season, which is a good thing or a bad thing depending on whether the movie's good or not. Like in the case of La La Land, I think that came out at like it was released in December, but it was like mainly released in January, February. And look what that turned out to be. I know we talked about that movie a lot, but we both love that movie, so it's an easy example. Yeah, I mean, like I love Lightyear, but it was missing something. Like
Yeah.
missing like joy, not joy, but like missing like a little bit more heart than we were expecting. I mean,
Yeah. That's something that Pixar has been like amazing at. Like at least with the movies I grew up watching as a kid, which was like you went to see a Pixar movie, you were seeing a good movie.
yeah,
Like your parents took you to see it and it was just like mind blowing. Everyone was talking about it. It was huge. And now it's also, but they also didn't come out as frequently either. Like, and they're also like it was just Disney Pixar. That was like the 3D animation. And then all of
right,
a sudden there's that drama with Pixar and Disney's just releasing it on their own. And then they've also kept that up where they're doing this weird like Disney Pixar release like pretty much each year or like twice a year or whatever now. But they're also releasing like some other like just Disney animation movie. And it's like, well, which is it? Like the, you know, is this gonna win the Oscar this year? You're competing against this other one, and then also like
yeah.
too, Sony is getting really good at animation.
Heck
Like
yeah, man.
I finally got around to watching the Mitchells versus the Machines the other day.
Oh, let's go.
So amazing. I mean, I'll talk more about it in our next What You Watching, but so amazing. Like in terms of the animation style, and it was like this feels very creative. Even
Yeah.
like Into the Spider-Verse had that too, where it was like very creative, very evolved. It didn't feel like they were trying to replicate some like really good looking video game or like reality. They're just out there making their own thing. And something that Disney's been trying to do is like make things look as realistic as possible, which is great. But sometimes you just want that other little creative touch, you know? Like
The
you
extra
have
pepper.
animation, exactly, the extra pepper, salt bay. You have the tools to make this like thing that's only lived in your head. This like crazy art style, crazy aesthetic. Why not like go ahead and do that rather than try to replicate reality, you know?
Right.
I don't know. Some things I was thinking about after watching Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Thank you for listening to our nerdy rant about why Lightyear was a letdown.
Yeah. Man, well, okay, we got really off track. Now, what was your most disappointing movie release of the year?
I think we're past that now. No. For me, it was. I mean, honestly, I didn't really have high bars. Yeah, I didn't really have a high bar for it, but I expected it to be a lot better than it was, and that is Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I am like convinced I am in the top like 5% of the world's biggest fan of Jurassic Park. Like I know that movie inside and out, and I obviously love like the first three movies are pretty good. The first one's amazing, like absolutely Steven Spielberg's best movie, hands down. And then Jurassic World 1 and 2 was not, they were fun. Like I had a good time. But this movie just let me down in every single way. They went back to like, spoiler alert for Jurassic World Dominion, but not really because yeah. Uh they went back to like the evil corporation thing when there's dinosaurs living in the real world and you're not going to discuss that. Like when they released the dinosaurs in Fallen Kingdom at the end, I thought this was going to be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Dinosaurs roaming, like I want to say like velociraptors, like hanging out at like Madison Square Garden listening to Billy Joel, okay? And I never got any of that. I got like Freddy Krueger dinosaurs with like Volkswagen size beetles. Like what the heck, man? I like and it was boring too. The first like hour and 45 minutes was like, no, the first 45 minutes was kind of boring. Like I went with Ashton and Chanel and I was dozing off a little bit because it was just so slow, man. Like get to the story. Like I'm one of those guys who loves like a slow burn. Like I love Blade Runner and I love like what's it called? The Godfather, because those are slow burn movies. But at least when they're like in the beginning and they're setting up stuff, it's worth it because it calls back to later in the movie. It calls back to that stuff, and that really makes you pay attention and makes it feel like it's slow, but in your mind it's like, wow, this is you're engaged the entire time. But for this, I just wasn't, and I think they wasted the OG cast. And man, so much for having a good birthday movie, huh, Ashton?
This is why we can't have nice things.
Literally can't have nice things.
Okay. Do you think part of the reason it was a little bit of a letdown was because, like, they tried going in for the nostalgia kick rather than the, evolving the story idea? Or, like, what do you think about that? Because I think we talked about it in a What You Watching about, like, that current trend of, like, all these movies and franchises bringing back their old characters and actors.
Yeah, I think that's a really big thing too, because studios are just like pushing out sequels about stuff we're nostalgic about. I mean, there's a Gremlins like 4 coming out. Who asked for Gremlins 4? Literally no one.
No one.
And like especially in it's gonna be kind of a weird example. But season 2 of The Mandalorian felt very fan servicey.
Very much so.
And as fans, we love the service, but there's a limit. There's a line that you can't cross, and they crossed it a couple of times. And like that's how studios just want money now, and they know we'll go see anything with like a Star Wars logo on it or a Marvel logo on it because, us nerds, we grew up with that stuff. But I mean, it's getting out of hand where I feel like it's oversaturating the market, especially with Disney owning every single independent property in the world. One day they're gonna get like Star Trek or something, and the world's gonna explode.
You excited for that Star Wars Star Trek crossover?
That is our end game. That will literally be the end game.
That's when the apocalypse will hit. Yeah. It's in Revelation. Read it. No.
In the fiery pits of hell.
Yeah, it's like it's hard because on one hand you have these movies like Top Gun Maverick that were absolutely incredible, like such a big nostalgia hit, but
Sorry,
also
what movie is that?
Oh, only like one of your favorites of all time.
Yeah, you're right.
But it also like evolves the franchise a little bit and kind of turned it like it made like the last movie even better in some ways, and then took this movie and like put out something different while doing similar things, and that was like incredible. Whereas I feel like with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, to be clear, I haven't seen any of the other Jurassic Worlds except for this last one. I have seen the Jurassic Park movies, and it was like, well, did we really need that? Was that really necessary? Like, again, like I haven't really seen the Jurassic Worlds, but was this necessary to tell the story you guys took off telling with these new characters? And then even like, I'm trying to think of like other examples, like even with like Marvel, like think of Multiverse of Madness. with the whole Professor X thing. Was that really
Yeah.
necessary? Like,
But I loved it.
it was cool, but all it really showed was Professor X is kind of a chump, and Marvel isn't ready to do some new X-Men stuff. They're just kind of sticking to the past rather than
Right.
evolving things. Even like with Logan coming back to Deadpool, like that
He died.
he died. Like that was Hugh Jackman's swan song, and now he's like, and obviously I'm still gonna go see the movie. I'm excited to see another Deadpool
Oh, we're going
movie.
opening day, brother.
We're going opening day for sure, because we're chumps like that. But like,
Take my money.
yeah, it's also like, what the heck? Like, do is that what's needed in order to keep us interested in Marvel movies these days, or maybe just go back to telling really good stories? I don't know. Like, is it a story problem where the story is necessarily bad? Like, it's just kind of something that you take film by film. I don't know. Life's weird,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, when like good point, because when you bring that up, it's kind of like you're rooting a whole other movie that was, for a lot of people, a perfect conclusion to one of their favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like, I remember like watching that with my friend, and we were like sobbing because we're like, this is the it, this is the end, and now he's coming back with Ryan Reynolds, and now Ryan Reynolds is gonna buy a hockey team. Like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
He already owns a soccer team. He's gonna buy a hockey team too.
Hockey makes more sense for him, honestly, but
Yeah, well.
Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, I don't know. I'm kind of like getting a little tired of this trend, but also I'm not gonna go stop seeing these movies unless it just gets really out of hand and they're just like, okay, you ruined me. I'm not a nerd anymore. I don't know how that would happen though, but yeah, I'm conflicted about it. Like, that's why like we're gonna record a review on this, but like Andor was so absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Was because it didn't stick to like old like rhetoric with Star Wars. It evolved the franchise in a new way.
It's its own thing, and it is almost barely any fan service.
Yeah, but in a way, no fan service is a lot of fan service because we're kind of getting tired of seeing the same things.
It's true. I'm so glad there was no like Skywalkers in this freaking show, man.
Yeah, same. It's, I swear, if season 2 is just like, hey, we're now going to bring in like another really long Vader montage, then it's like, come on, why?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I know I'm gonna watch it, but like, is it worth it? At what cost?
At what cost? Like Kenobi was like that. Like the whole show was like that, where the whole
I know.
idea of the show, like I was excited for it because I wanted like, you know, Obi-Wan on Tatooine, like just like they did in the book with him like having this struggle of like depression and mental illness and everything, trying to deal with the pretty much wanting to see the story just happen on Tatooine, wanting to deal with like Order 66 and kind of where that brings him now. And instead we got, and I love the Anakin scenes, but I feel like they could have, and I loved Hayden back, but like, why?
Yeah.
It was like they had all this story potential here, really great material from the book, and they just kind of were like, huh, Vader goes, bap. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, whatever, man.
Whatever.
Anyways.
Anyway, that was we're gonna get off of our soapbox now.
Yeah, we'll get off our high horse. Okay,
Get off our
here we
high
go.
horse. Yeah. Now we should make a movie.
Dude, we've literally been talking about that since we met each other.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, we have the resources.
That's true.
I mean, do you know Clerks with Kevin Smith? Have you
Like
seen-
I haven't watched it. Like, okay, I've seen a couple episodes here and there, but I haven't watched it like to sit down and watch it. I've just kind of been there.
Clerks is a movie, not a TV show.
Well, that tells you how much I know about it.
Okay,
What was the
okay.
TV show he was in though?
Comic Book Man. That's his, like,
Okay, yeah, no, sorry, I got it confused with Comic
oh,
Book Man.
no, Comic Book Man.
Okay, then no, I haven't seen
Legendary.
Clerks.
Oh no, Clerks is his movie that he made with all his friends,
Okay.
and he I can't remember the budget on that. It was not much. It was maybe like 10 grand. And I know we're just not gonna get 10 grand from somewhere, but I feel like we could just make a movie. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a whole reason why YouTube is full of videos that people just want to make content because they have a passion for this, and obviously this is why we're doing the podcast because this is. I mean, it was a hobby, but now it's kind of like let's just get her done, man. I mean, we got like a Patreon, Patreon / Nerds of Flannel podcast. Please, thank you.
Yeah.
And we got sponsors. I mean, it's crazy because this is something we wanted to do, and it turned out to be kind of just like, hey, we should just like, why not, right? I mean, the first like 4 months, you had to like really persuade us to like not do it because we're just like, why not? Like,
Yeah.
what else are we doing? I know we had school and stuff, but like, it was just a hobby. Now it's kind of like we're just like now we have a schedule, and now we're getting like guests, and dude, it's so much fun.
It was one of those things. Like honestly, I think if we haven't done this, like 2022 would not be as fun.
Dude, it literally would have
Like honestly, like even just having something like this to mix into a routine where we can like talk about stuff that we love together and like have this like common thing, which we've done pretty much our whole friendship anyway. But just being able to like do it and just like intentionally do it is kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh.
like I always say, we're gonna do this in the car anyways, whether we like it or not. Might as well record it and put it out on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's something else.
Which leads me to my next question, Ashton.
Okay.
50 episodes on Nerds of Flannel, including this one. Which one is your favorite?
Dude, that's so hard, man. Okay, wait,
Maybe like pick a couple. Like honestly,
A
I
couple.
kind of have a list. That's why I was asking you.
Okay. Why don't you go first? I gotta put this together. I have an idea in my head, but
Okay.
you go first.
I'm gonna go. I'll go to 3 because I'm crazy that way.
Okay. And are these like 3 in order of like
No particular
favorite?
order. Just
no order. Okay.
just a couple of your favorite. Okay. One of my in no particular order. Episode 7, Licorice Pizza.
Yo.
So this is an episode where we just went to watch a movie because it looked cool. And actually, this is why I love you, man, because I remember I'm like, actually, you want to see this trailer? And we watched it because like the music slaps because David Bowie's in the trailer, and it looked pretty good. And I'm like, do you know what? It's Tuesday night. We don't have class the next day. Let's just go watch a movie, right? Cheap $8. Go to Langley and watch it. So we're sitting there in the theater, and there's only 2 of us, and I'm like, there's no one here. And we watched the movie, and it's one of the most amazing movies I've seen ever. Obviously, it's like I think it's out of my top 10 now, but it's like a top 15 for sure. Man, this is such a good movie. And doing the episode, it was so much fun because it was one of the first episodes where I watched a movie, and I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. I want to talk about this movie because I feel like this is something that we should talk about because of the subject matter in the movie, and also it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
And it turned out to, and like people who have seen it loved this movie.
Yeah.
Except for that one guy MDB who gave it a 1.5 out of 10, but that's neither here nor there. Actually, no, I think he gave like a 2, but whatever. And I got nominated for Academy Award. We did it? I'm pretty sure it did, right?
Yeah, it
Screenplay?
did. I was what was it? Was it story?
Adapted screenplay, maybe?
Adapted screenplay? That sounds about right.
There's Pizza Academy Awards. Let's see here. Oh, he got nominated for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and Best Director. It didn't win anything, but got nominated for 3 Oscars, which,
Yeah.
hey, good on that. So no, that's one of my favorite ones. Actually, do you want to go, or do you want me to just continue to go?
Just continue.
Oh, wait, hang on. I can't hear you, bro. My headphones disconnected again.
Oh no.
These freaking Sony things, man. Hey, give me a second. I gotta plug it back.
Technical difficulties. That's
Yeah,
one of my other favorite things about
Intro.
the pod.
Here,
Wait, what?
there we go.
Okay.
No, I
I was
got it back.
saying
I can hear you now. Sorry.
I was saying that's one of my favorite things about the pod is like how much we've even evolved technologically. Like there's so much stuff I wanted to do for like my personal tech rig that I didn't really have an excuse to do until we started the pod, and I was like, all right, well, I have like this Amazon gift card, might as well put it towards, getting like a mic stand, like a boom stand, or like, oh, this really cool mic that I've had my eye on for like a while is on sale, might as well pick it up. Yeah, one of those things.
I mean, yeah, especially for me being in music, this is like a really good step to have because I can
Yeah.
plug my guitar in. Obviously, you got the mic to sing into, and it just kind of worked out that way. And it's funny, I switched into the music ministry as we were in the podcast phase. So maybe that had something to do with it. So I mean, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll just keep it going with my
Yeah, go for it.
another one.
Yeah, yeah.
If there's any overlap, we can just talk about together because I feel like that's kind of, obviously, sure, why not? Episode 25. It's our Oscar predictions.
Hey, yo.
This is the first episode that we recorded video for.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
We ran into some technical difficulties with
gosh.
this one. Holy crap.
Like Ashton said, like we evolved technologically because this episode was so frustrating to edit because I've never done audio with that stuff before, and man, it was crazy. We recorded in Chanel's basement and rearranged all the furniture and stuff, but that was a really good time. And then the next day, obviously, it was the Oscars, and we had an even better time with, you know what? It was man, it hit so well. It was slapping, man. Holy crap, that was a great Oscars.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to slap someone when things go so well.
Rock their worlds.
Oh, yeah. You got to have the will to not slap them, though, man.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I can't come back with that.
Yeah, well. And, and obviously my favorite episode that we've done so far is, I think it's 41? Yes, 41. Just going through with Mission Cast. All of it, dude, this is so much fun because I had a few people over at my house to, just have not a party, but a get together. We just hang out, eat some food, share a conversation, and then we recorded with Mission Cast. And so much fun, man. Those two are like, okay, it's gonna sound really weird, but they're like the female versions of us, if that makes any sense.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
So if Misha and Cass, you're listening, you're Cass is me and Misha is you, or the other way around. It goes both ways.
It goes
sometimes,
both ways sometimes, just
which is
because
the
of how
funniest
similar
thing.
like we are and how similar they are. It's really
Yeah.
funny. Me and Cass, y'all should start a pod.
Yeah, might have to.
I'll donate
And
my snowball for it.
I'll give you my snowball. I'm using it right now, but you can have it. You can have it. And yeah, also I'm just really thankful for like our friends willing enough to come on and take time out of their lives because I know they have homework to do and better things to do. So if you've been a guest on this pod, thank you. for
Yeah,
coming on.
shout out.
We really appreciate it. I mean, even if it gets like 7 views, at least we just spent time together. And
Yeah.
that's what friendship is, man.
Yeah. No, those are all really great episodes. And speaking
Ashton,
of
give me yours.
speaking of times we have friends on, again, this is like completely out of order. Episode 11, our first collab. Our first collab with Vibes Podcast. That was fun.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Those girls
Yeah.
are great, man.
Yeah. Y'all, that we got to do like another one of those. It was just fun. It was fun like cuz before like we had done like 10 episodes prior and most of those we had done like in a week. Of us just like sitting in front of like a microphone trying to like start getting comfortable with this, trying to like watch, like our words and like oh, are we gonna say too many ums? Are we gonna just have these clutch words or whatever? Just trying to get better at the public speaking element and trying to get better with like the comfortability of like talking to one another, having these conversations while in front of a mic, and then just like getting to see another group that's already kind of like done that, and just like being able to chat with them and like friends and just being able to like hang out. I think that's I think it was that episode that really like got me connected with those people as
Right.
well. which was pretty great. Like obviously you already had connections because you're living on dorms. But it was just kind of fun, like hanging out as a group and just like, oh, let's just have fun with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as our first collab, so I'm surprised we went as smoothly as it did.
I know. I thought it was gonna be a train wreck, but honestly, that was one of the worst episodes, like audioly,
Yeah,
because oh man, we were so just recording two snowballs off my iPad, and it didn't work because the snowballs like, what was it? Software the same, so I think it's just one mic.
yeah, which is
But yeah,
why we had to do a redo.
yeah. So now we have Scarlett. So now we can do 4 mics if we really wanted to.
Yeah,
I just have to get things figured out on my end and not lose audio again. Rip.
yeah, you're right.
Also, like we've lost a couple episodes too, guys.
We have
more than a couple. We
more
lost
than
like
a few.
3 or 4.
We had both put a lot of time into those episodes, and then we just lost them, which was kind of like disappointing.
Remember, it's not really a spoiler alert because we never put it out, but remember that movie music trivia one that
Man, that one would have been one of my favorites had we been able to like put it out.
That was heartbreaking, man. I
It was
thought
heartbreaking.
when we were recording it, it sounded well and good,
Yeah.
and then we stopped recording and it was nothing.
And that was with all of our new tech too.
I
It
know.
was like,
I was so mad at myself. I mean, I should just double checked.
yeah.
But that's
Well, it just opens up the possibility of doing something like that again.
good. Yeah, we love
Yeah.
trivia. Well, at least I do.
We love it.
Okay, Ashley, keep it going.
Okay, and then another one I have here is, weirdly enough, episode 37, the Thor Love and Thunder review.
Oh, yeah, I know you love that episode. That was a great episode.
It was a great episode. I feel like, we both, spoiler alert, we both didn't really like that movie, but I think we were able to kind of come at it from like, okay, here's why we personally didn't like it, and this is like why.
Yeah.
Being able to be like critical without like the Marvel bias, and also just being able to be like, and here are the things we actually did kind of enjoy about what it did pretty great, but it still overall sucks. But like,
We were
and then
very
just, like,
open-minded about it.
we were very open-minded. We went into it kind of like very curious and just like wanting to have a good time with it. It was also like the experience itself was like our movie, like at least my first VIP movie experience. And then just like being able to hang out with like you and Chanel with that one. And that was like the really weird time when like all the bank machines weren't working. So we had to like improvise with what we were able
Cash,
to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
That was a time. That was wild. And I think even just like we were both kind of vulnerable in that episode too. Just because that movie dealt with a lot of heavy things.
It did. I know, especially for you, but like I'm surprised how affected I was by it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a decent movie, but when you dissect it, there's a lot of heart to it, and that does come from a lot of the acting, but also Taika Waititi directing it that way. And it's one of those movies where I look back and I'm like, this movie's actually like better than I initially thought it was. Which is why we need to put up our MCU polls, MCU tier list eventually.
Yeah.
Obviously that movie's gone up a little higher for me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Great episode we did.
It was a pretty good episode. And yeah, I think my other episode I have here, episode 42, questions that will ruin friendships with Chanel and Ethan.
That
and that
was
one was
such a
so
good
fun. So I think
highest
like,
viewed episode ever on this podcast.
which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, honestly, like our friend group started with like you, me, and Chanel, and then the following semester, Ethan came, and just like really, like all 4 of us were really able to just hang out and vibe really well. And like throughout COVID, kind of like what we were talking about before, we really just like put in the effort to like still like communicate. They were part of the games groups. Ethan initiated a lot of it. And we were just able to like all vibe really well. And then Ethan ditched us. That guy.
What a loser.
What a loser.
He ditched us to make money.
Wow, this guy. Imagine a Bible college student doing that.
Oh no.
But yeah, he went and decided to pursue something else. And, we've still been able to maintain like a really good friendship with him, even though like he's one of those guys where he comes back and it's just like he's never left, right?
Yeah, you start where you left off, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was just so much fun to like kind of be there. And then obviously like you, me, and Chanel hung out a lot during the summer. And just being able to like get the gang back, it felt like complete. And then the fact that so many people enjoyed listening to that too, like the amount of views we got was just kind of like, it blew me away. That one wasn't even a video pod either. Like
I
we
know.
did not put a
Yeah,
lot of effort into that. It was just kind of like, okay, let's come up with these questions and just roast each other and just kind of like hang out like we'd hang out anyway,
yeah.
which was like really great.
I mean, whenever Ethan's in town, we usually try to do something. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't even tell him we were gonna do that. We were just like, "Okay, Ethan, we're gonna record." He's like,
Yep.
"Okay, cool."
It's like bet.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, we said this a lot, but our friend group with the four of us, we became friends because we said okay. We said sure, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's things to say no to, but I mean, when you're like in that friend group, it's hard to say no because you just want to spend time with each other. I mean, obviously we don't get to do it much now because Chanel is always busy with med school and stuff. I mean, sorry, she doesn't like it when I say med school. It's a biology major. Sure, I forget what it's called. And
Something like
Ethan's
that.
obviously he's always on the train because he's a train
Making
conductor
money.
now. And then there's us who see each other like almost every day.
Yeah, we're still in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but I love it. Man, Ethan, I wish we were able to get a ticket to the Christmas banquet, bud. It's the one thing
man.
that we've actually like didn't all do together was a Christmas banquet because he
Yeah.
joined like winter spring semester.
I'm the only one who's been to all of them.
Yeah, this is my second one, and this is my fourth year. So that's, I mean, they didn't have one in 2020, obviously,
For obvious reasons.
but yeah, last year I was just not healthy enough to go.
Yeah, I know. Did you have COVID around that time too?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was like not one of the nice variants. I was like gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, honestly, like it's been a solid like 50 plus episodes.
It really has, man. Like it's been so much fun just to like. I mean, honestly, these are some of my favorite episodes where we can just talk and hang out and just open up a little bit. I mean, these are very lighthearted episodes. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't really like do much. This is how we usually talk anyways. So it's really easy for us to record. And obviously like it sucks that we can't do it like in person because, we have 40 minutes away. But thank God for Zoom and thank God for premium Zoom from Chanel. So
Bless you, Trinity Western University.
yeah, thanks Trinity for your premium Zoom.
And a shout out to all the Trinity students that are paying excess amounts in tuition so that we can do this kind of stuff with Chanel's account. Bless you
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Shout out to the theater program.
Yeah, you
I hope you all have great careers in teaching drama in high school. Does that mean I think that's okay?
My drama teacher is like from high school was one of my favorite people at that
Yeah,
time.
man, mine too.
Man. Yeah. That's crazy. You know what I was thinking about the other day? We're in our fourth year, bro.
Yeah, but you're graduating next year. I don't know if I'm graduating next year.
Oh, that's fair.
I might take my time, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we switch majors like halfway through.
That's the thing. I'm still trying to decide if I want to switch majors yet or not. too.
Switch. Stay with me.
Hey, I'm only 5 minutes away anyway. It's
One of us.
One of us. Yeah, it's really weird. I was thinking about this, like partly because of also what we were talking about at the beginning of the episode with like COVID. That just really like feels like time travel almost. Like it felt very long when it was happening, but now looking back at like, kind of the evolution of it and where things kind of are now, it kind of feels like everything kind of squished together and now we're here.
Yeah.
In a way. Like, do you remember filming that the volleyball episode or the volleyball video?
Should we? I kind of want to put that on the Nerds channel. I mean, on
You
the
know
Nerds
what?
YouTube.
No, we should put that at the end of this video as
Okay.
our 50th special. Something that we got to do with our friends during COVID, but also like something that was also honestly, it was kind of the beginning of when we really started doing like media stuff together. If you think about it,
It's true. Yeah. So story behind that. We had a coffee house. So kind of like I show
the
your
second
towels and
annual
stuff.
PLBC Coffee House.
Yeah, and like obviously it's COVID, so everything had to be recorded, and everyone did like singing and stuff. And at that time, I'm like, I don't want to do that. So, I took inspiration from Studio C Scott Sterling videos,
Great videos.
and we kind of ran with that because obviously we didn't have the cameras, or like I kind of didn't know how to do like CGI at that time. I kind of do now, but we kind of did a simple like volleyball video because we have a beach volleyball pit in the back of our school, so we filmed it there, and it was kind of nice because we didn't really have to wear masks because we were outside, and it was just like we were filming ourselves just screwing around playing volleyball, and me like getting hit in the face with the volleyball.
Trying to
And
stage shots where it would look more convincing that this guy got smacked.
yeah, man. I mean, like we did with our friend Jed, and he's married now
That's insane.
to one of our another friends, Sydney, and they live in Texas now. So that's crazy, man. That was
That'll age ya.
yeah, yeah. I will put at the end of this video. I don't think I'm gonna put the director's cut.
Yeah, don't do the director's cut. That's a sacred friendship thing.
Dude, the director's cut is a lot of fun, but I won't put the director's cut. Also, I have to change the song because it's not appropriate for.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was a video, wasn't it? Man, it was so much fun though. Like even Ethan's in that video, just being able to like go out and like hang out and just get an excuse to be creative. It was kind of like, yeah, we should do this sort of thing more often. And here
Yeah,
we are.
especially at a time where it was like things were kind of just weird because obviously this is what like October 2020, and right, was it?
No, I think it was a spring semester thing, I thought. Like
Was
didn't
it?
they delay it?
But you can. Oh, hang on.
What was the upload date?
Um, I can't really check. I know I put it on my YouTube channel.
Van City Nat. Have you uploaded to that channel since we
Actually, no.
started the pod?
It's the social network.
Or the
now.
social network. Ah,
Yes.
yes.
No, I did upload to it. I uploaded just one episode. I just did a Thor 11th Thunder episode by myself.
Nice.
The upload date to that is February 25th, 2021.
So that's getting really close to when we started the pod a year later.
Yeah. Almost actually I'll pretty much a year later we started the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll put that that YouTube, I'll put that video at the end of this one.
That's how we're celebrating 50, baby. Showing.
Yeah, by showing a video we made a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dang, that's crazy.
It's been a heck of a ride, man. Like I know, like we're kind of, it may sound like we're making a big deal out of it, but I don't know for you, Ashton, like 50 episodes took a lot out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of the one who edits most of it,
Yeah.
and I like it's been rough because all I have is an iPad Pro to edit stuff on. So it's kind of like I have to delete stuff right after I upload stuff. So we don't have every episode like in raw that we had, but I will be upgrading soon. So I'm kind of
Hey.
excited for that. And then we can actually like put everything on an SSD and like bury those for future generations, which will be very fun.
That will be fun. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, honestly, the way it kind of started out was, have we talked about how we just like the story behind like starting the pod?
Not fully. How about you tell them that, and I'll reset my audio. How about that?
Okay, let's do that. So, love these tech problems, man.
Yeah, man.
So we were kind of, we had always joked about starting a podcast because we were like, wow, we're so nerdy. We should start a podcast. And, at least like where we're from, it's kind of like one of those, at least it was one of those funny memes like, oh, Christian college student boys like starting a podcast together or whatever. I mean, to be fair, most of those are like theological podcasts, not this nerdy. But we were talking about it jokingly, and then one day during the spring semester, and honestly the beginning of the year was like a really rough time for me because I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I was having that crisis that you do in like third year where you're like, what am I doing with my life? Is this like, am I really happy? Also dealing with some other crap that went on, and I was just like, I need a creative outlet of some kinds. And then Nat just like hit me up one day and was like, yo, want to start a podcast? And I was like, bet. And
You know,
then,
honestly, I got inspiration from the Vibes girls. If I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like completely honest, because obviously I live with those girls. Well, yeah, sure, we'll say that. We used to live in dorms together, and I really got to know them. And those three started a podcast, and I'm like, do you know what? Ashton and I've been talking about this for a while. Like, if these girls can do it, why can't we? Right?
yeah.
And obviously, they have a great podcast. They're much more candid than we are. Like, we usually have a structure that we kind of follow, but I love how like just candid and open they are. So go listen to Vibes podcast on Spotify.
They do just chillin', but better.
Yeah, they do it way better than we do because they're they're much more wiser with their words, if you know what I mean.
If you enjoy this sort of thing, then they put out some great stuff. So
Yeah, they don't have
check it
very many episodes, but what they have out is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to pump our friends' tires a little bit. Yeah, so I'm like, do you know what, Ashton? I'm gonna text him. Out of the blue, I'm sitting in my. I remember. I'm on my bed. I'm lying down. And I'm decided to text Ashton, and I'm like, wait, was this a good idea? Is he gonna say yes? He's gonna say no? And then I can't remember. Did you say just like, yeah, sure? It was like Snapchat messaging.
I think it was like,
or
yeah,
something.
sure, with like a laughing emoji. Because I was like seriously down, but I was also like, dude, this is so funny.
Yeah.
It's like we're finally doing it.
And yeah, man. And then I had a mic. Did I buy a mic before we started a podcast or after?
I think we started off with the snowball.
Okay.
I think you'd already bought it for some music stuff, maybe, or like, oh no,
Oh,
it was like Zoom stuff. Like you.
Yeah, I just had
wanted
that for
a better
Zoom. Yeah,
setup.
yeah. Okay. So I already had a mic. That's why I'm like, let's just start low budget. And then as we get going, obviously we picked up some things, and the first episode was in my dorm room.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it was just so like, I don't know. I gotta listen to our first episode again because I listened to that thing in forever.
I tried. It was very cringy, but
Yeah, it was
it's
like introduction,
sentimental.
getting to know us.
Yeah.
I think it was like 11 views or something.
It was so funny because the night before we had done that episode, we went out to watch Spider-Man No Way Home, and I had already
for this,
seen
like,
it.
the third time or something.
You saw it a ton of times. This was my
Yeah.
second time. I think I was
saw the movie 10
watching
times.
Tick Tick Boom with my family at the time, and then for one reason or another, everyone just randomly had something come up. Like everyone just left the movie. I was like, okay, I guess I gotta sit here by myself and finish the movie. And then that was like, hey, want to go see No Way Home and then do a review about it like tomorrow? And I was like, bet. so I was like, well, my evening just got freed up, so might as well. So we went to the movie theater, and then we were discussing the review on the way back from like Langley. Like, okay, how do we want to do this? Like, we were trying to think like the most structured thing. Like, you know, we had this idea of doing like takeaways from each movie,
Takeaways.
which is kind of like a ripoff of what one of our professors did in his classes, where at the end of every class we'd have to have a takeaway. So we were like, oh, we should do that. That'd be so funny. And, you know, we were discussing that stuff, and then it was just kind of like, you know what? Let's just keep things as like us as it can, rather than like forcing some things out. You know, we did that intro video, then we did the No Way Home video, and then I think like the next day we did like the Tick Tick Boom episode. Because I ended up finishing
Something
the movie
like
by
that.
myself.
Yeah, it was pretty back to back. Like we'd record like 10 episodes in like a week. So
Yeah, which was kind of crazy. And then like I had like this gift card left over from Christmas, and they had another like blue snowball on sale for like $20. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up one of these. And then, you know, eventually in the summer and stuff, we ended up upgrading to this rig.
yeah, I
Crazy.
bought, honestly, everything here is under $100, which is amazing for like audio stuff because everyone and their mom has audio stuff now. So
Yeah.
like decent
I'll see
audio
how much
stuff.
you
Like
can do on a
these,
small budget.
yeah, these are pretty expensive mics. Like I can sell this for like $300 and get like $300 on like Facebook Marketplace, and I got this for like 10 at a garage sale. So it's kind of a big win.
Yeah, big dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, it did help that like, because last semester you were kind of like you did like an intensive course, and that was kind of like it because you're in the process of like changing programs, and then you just didn't hear back about enrollment stuff. So I was like, hey, you got all this free
So
time.
I was in like, yeah,
I was just trying to blow off class, so it worked out.
I was in full time relax class, and I was acing it.
Hey, he was doing a great job.
Yeah,
I
A plus.
picked myself up at the end of the semester with all my classes, but like it was kind of one of those things where I was just coming off of a rough season, so I was like, you know what? I just need to like have this creative outlet there, and it
Yeah.
worked out pretty well.
And dude, you know what? I was thinking about it. How did we come up with our name?
We were talking about this for like a little bit. It was I think you were the one that came up with like the whole nerds and flannel because like the Canadian thing.
Right, but like we're not wearing it right now, so I feel
We're not
kind of
wearing it right
douchey.
Yeah, we're still nerds. There's lots of pictures of us in flannel. Check
Yeah,
like
there
every
is a
thumbnail
lot.
ever. We got to do some new
Well,
thumbnail
most
pictures.
thumbnails. I don't use. We need more pictures of us in flannel because I'm running out of flannel for thumbnails, and yeah.
Hey, want to do it Tuesday when it snows?
Oh, it's gonna snow Tuesday. Oh, good thing I got snow tires on. Let's go.
Hey, I don't, so I'm gonna be sliding down that hill.
And we're watching The Fablemans on Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
Steven
gonna
Spielberg's
be hype.
newest movie. That's gonna be so good.
I'm so excited for that.
Do you ever like think about what happened? What would happen if we did call ourselves Nerds and Flannel? Like, what would a different name be? That's what I think about that sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, we could have Nerds and Flannel, but we could have gone with like something else that's like more universal. But I feel like it's very us. That's why I'm like, I kind of love it.
yeah, it's very us because
Yeah.
like I mean, obviously not right now, but we wear flannel a lot. It's one of those things where I've started noticing how much flannel I actually wear, and like how much I actually have in my wardrobe, because it's like obviously, like we're most of our friends at school know like nerds and flannel and stuff now. Heck, even one of our professors calls us nerds and flannel when we're together.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
I'm not even that anymore. I'm just one of the Nerds and Flannel guys.
Yeah, I'm just one of the nerds. So it's one of those things where like I feel like whenever I wear flannel, people are like, "Hey, are you guys recording today?" And it's like, I just like wearing flannel, guys.
We just wear flannel. This is us.
This is us. Um, I love it though. Man, that was like the number one thing. Like anytime we went to like record in that first week, by the next week, people were like, "Hey, so you recording with Nat?" Anytime they'd see me. So now I've had to go to school like just to hang out with people like a lot of other times, just to be like, guys, I don't always have to be recording when I'm here.
Yeah, it's so funny
can
because
play
I don't live there
Smash.
anymore. I don't
Yeah.
live there anymore, and every single time we're there together, they're like, "You guys recording?" And I'm like, "No, I'm like literally doing homework."
It's like I'm just trying to get to a quiet place.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the A-frame used to be that place where commuters would come to do homework all the time.
It's
And
not. No one goes there
now,
anymore.
now it's just kind of like dorm living room.
Now it's our hangout.
But we still hang out there. Like we're still holding on to the old ways.
Yeah, we're very traditional.
Yeah, we're fourth years, baby.
Crazy, man.
Crazy. Yeah. Dang.
What else should we talk
Let's-
about? I gotta leave soon, but what else should we talk about?
Okay.
Any any
Okay.
like burning questions here, Ashton?
Real quick. Out of all the movies in September, like all the Oscar baity movies, which movie do you think is gonna like not like be your favorite, but be one of those like, holy crap, this was one friggin' good movie?
What do you mean, like in September?
Or in December, sorry, like this month.
Oh,
or
coming out
coming
this
into the
month?
next month. Yeah, in the next month.
Can I do November too? Is that okay?
Actually, okay, let's do up to Oscar season. So like from this point on, from like November 27th upwards to Oscar season.
Okay. You cut out there for a second, but I'm assuming I heard. Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it. But Tar with Kate Blanchett should be pretty good.
You stole
It should
mine.
be. Oh, really?
No, it's okay.
Wait, did-
Sa-
my
same
bad, brother.
wavelength. Same wavelength.
Yeah, no, simpatico.
Simpatical.
Yeah. I could also see. You know what? This is a dark horse, but I could see an Oscar nom for Bullet Train.
Really?
I don't know what it could be, but I would love it if it got an Oscar nom.
Okay.
What else we got here? What a couple of yours? Because I have a couple more, but I don't want to steal all yours just in case.
So a man called Otto. It's like the new Tom Hanks one.
Right. Okay.
That one looks pretty interesting.
With
I feel
with Mr. Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I feel like that one could potentially pull like a best like story, like a best adapted screenplay, or like best like actor or something like that. It just feels like one of those movies where it's like there's enough buzz around it because it's Tom Hanks, but it's also one of those things where I don't know, you could easily just it's just like people will go see it because of Tom Hanks, but also it's just a very obscure movie that maybe not a lot of people are interested in.
Yeah.
But it could still win because enough thought went into it. I don't know. That's kind of like my idea behind it.
Did you ever see that movie, Welcome to like Morrowind with Tom Hanks?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wait, that's not Tom Hanks. I can't. Steve Carell.
Oh, okay. No, I do have that on my watch list though.
It's really good. I remember him he was really good in that, but obviously it was kind of Oscar baity, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
What else? What else you got there? I got a couple more.
Okay. I just had like Babylon and
Okay, I'm very excited. I'm so excited for that one.
I'm so excited for that one. Yeah. But
Directed by Damien
Babylon was
Chazelle.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's gonna be crazy. I can feel
I
it.
can see Bones and All with Timothée Chalamet getting a nom for something.
Okay.
Maybe him for best actor in a leading role, probably. Obviously we haven't seen him, but The Menu, which we were gonna go see, but it kind of things just it didn't work.
It wasn't the right time.
Yeah, we just kind of weren't feeling it. It was kind of one of those gloomy days where you just kind of wanted to hang out and do nothing.
Yeah. I was doing homework and then we just played Smash. It was great.
Yeah, usual thing.
Yeah.
Banshees of Inisherin looks
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good, which we should go watch eventually before.
Before it leaves theaters.
I mean, even if I don't get it in theaters, I'll watch it before Oscar season so that I
same.
fill up on it. So I'm not gonna, die if I don't see it.
Same.
One movie I really want to see, and this could be a controversial pick, depends on who you talk to, is a movie called She Said. I told Ashton about this. It's about the Harvey Weinstein scandal, and how these women obviously have to come out, and these two women played by Carey Mulligan and Zoe Zazin, they have to investigate on it. And I think that's especially in our society today with the whole obviously the Me Too movement, and just being not a douchebag to society, is a movie that it's gonna be very interesting to watch and how they do it. Obviously, it could be very preachy, but obviously, I talked about it a lot. Film's one of those mediums where you can kind of just show anything, which is a blessing and a curse. But obviously, some do it better than others, and I'm really excited to even if I don't see it in theaters, I'm gonna watch it eventually. And the last one I want to talk about is Spoiler Alert with Jim Parsons. So The Big Sick is a movie I talked about. I know Ashton has talked about it a little bit too, with Camille Nanjiani and Ray Romano, and that movie was so heartfelt for me because kind of like the subject matter, because it's kind of like a romance comedy, and it's rom-com for those people, and it's just a really heartwarming film that has a lot of heartfelt moments, but also it's really funny. And I think that finding a balance for that is hard. And with this movie, spoiler alert, Jim Parsons, obviously, who plays Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory, is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I talked about it a lot. Thanks, Ashton, for the Crave account. This one I'm really looking forward to, just because I feel like it could, win Oscar for something. And I would be very excited if that happens. And anything, and obviously at Babylon. And if I can say it and be candid, Magic Mike's Last Dance.
This
so
guy.
Excited.
This friggin' guy, bro. Oh gosh.
Not an Oscar nom, but I'm
Just putting it out there.
I mean, we saw Bros together, so
Yeah, we kind of have to keep the tradition going now. Let's
Do
get
we,
PV
though?
and Deets.
do we though? Do we have to keep the? I don't think this is a movie they're gonna go for. I feel like it's gonna be if we go, it's just gonna be you and me and like a bunch of ladies in the back of the theater.
Probably. And maybe if Ethan's in town, we can convince him. I know he liked the first one.
I think he'd go with us.
think he
Honestly, I think
would.
he'd go with us. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, one
know-
last quick
yeah.
topic before you go.
Yes.
So, I know Quentin Tarantino came out this past week saying some real hot takey stuff
What do you
that
say?
I'm kind of tempted to. I think I actually kind of understand it, and I think I might believe it.
Okay. I mean, what did he say?
Okay.
Do you have the direct quote?
I don't have the direct quote, but I have the like paraphrase because I've been wrestling with this idea all week.
Okay. Hit
Pretty
me.
much what he was saying was there aren't superstar actors anymore. They're superstar characters because of like the MCU. And the example he used was there isn't Captain America or there isn't Chris Evans, there's Captain America. And I think the point he was trying to deliver was when you go see a movie nowadays, you're not necessarily going for like the big actor craze unless it's someone that's already been pre-established before like the Marvel age, like a Tom Hanks or a Leo DiCaprio. You're going because like you want to see what happens next on the character's journey rather than, for like the actor's acting ability.
No, I do agree. Here's why. Like every single time I see a movie with like Tom Holland, I'm like, oh yo, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or when I see a movie with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, I'm like, it's Dwayne the Rock
Dwayne
Johnson. It's literally the same guy in every movie.
Yeah.
And I think that, especially with like special actors, with like what's his name? Oh, what's his name? I'm gonna be so mad at myself for getting this wrong. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Okay, he's an actor, one of the great actors. He's passed away a couple years ago, a few years ago actually, and he doesn't really have a defining character. Like I know he was in the Mission Impossible movies, Hunger Games. He was in Paul Thomas Anderson's. Can't remember what the movie was. Man, I'm gonna blank on that. I'm sorry, but. I loved him because I thought he was a great actor, and he obviously did some charity work and a lot of like good things with the community, and like his movies were great. And I'm like, oh, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, not like a character. And I know that like when an actor or actress sinks into a character, and they're kind of like I'm gonna use Robert Downey Jr. as an example. Like he will always be Iron Man, but who like. People only know him for that, really. Like, who's gonna know him for? He was, what's it called? He was Chapman in in the Chapman movie. Like, how many people are gonna be like, oh, he's from Chapman? Like, who's gonna say that? And like, especially for the Chris Evans thing, I agree. Because when we were watching, what was that movie with Ryan Gosling in it?
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man. I mean, yo, that's just Captain America beating up that one guy from Blade Runner.
I mean, I would take that whole idea a step further and even say like, oh, and that movie was made by the people that did Endgame, like by the Russo brothers. Where it's even like the directors that make these like really big blockbuster movies. If you recognize them, you're going to see the movie because of the fact that they did this like one really big Marvel movie, and that's how they got under your radar. I mean, like, I just started watching Community. And the Russos were involved in that, and it was like, part of the reason I wanted to watch that was like after I've had on my watch list since Civil War. I was like, okay, it's from the same people that did Civil War. Let's check out this TV show, and I finally got around to it like yesterday. But it's one of those things, right? Whereas I do feel like there are these like Tarantino, for example, Guillermo del Toro, these other big directors who still like, Martin Scorsese, who refuse to do Marvel movies because they don't want their whole careers to be defined by doing this thing that already has a really big audience. They just want to find like an audience that will appreciate every intrinsic detail they put into their art rather than the source material that they're basing the art off of, like originality.
Yeah, they just want to make movies.
Yeah.
They just want to make movies. They don't want to make something that's connected. They just want to make a singular movie that is their own, and that's what I love about like, especially, Martin Scorsese. Like his movies are hard to watch because obviously they swear a lot. There's blood and sometimes nudity in it, but they're his own. It's his own film, and film classes for generations have been using Taxi Driver as a movie to show framing, show dialogue, and show like character development. And you can even take that a step further with The Godfather, obviously one of the greatest franchises of all time, and that was his own thing. There was nothing like that at that time. And now, now every movie that's coming out, like especially with the superhero craze, which is a whole different thing we should talk about sometime eventually. It's all the same. It's a formula. There's a character, he like gets beat up, and then he wins at the end. That's one reason why I didn't like Black Panther, because it was just very formulaic.
Yeah.
But like, what's a movie that like what was that movie that we saw? That was kind of like not to a book. Can't. Oh shoot, Amsterdam.
Okay, I was thinking Everything Everywhere
Oh,
All
that
Once.
too. That too. But Amsterdam was like its own thing. I mean, people didn't like it, which I get why.
Yeah.
But it was its own thing, and people who appreciate it will like appreciate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can even like take that a step further and say, movie posters, they all look the same. we know. We have look at this. I have one right here, and I got like one over there.
We've done
one over
the
there.
episode on it too. Great episode, by the way.
Oh man, like don't even get me started.
It's one of those things where, I do kind of think the movie star is dying. Like the traditional understanding of a movie star, at least. I think movie stars will always exist. But the only reason people will become a movie star is if, they're like the next Robert Downey Jr., where they're kind of like a bit of a nobody. And then all of a sudden they're in these insane movies. Yeah. And now everyone wants to cast them, but half of that audience will see the movie, but it's still considered a success. It's weird, but I think I can get behind what he's saying. And even Anthony Mackie said it a couple years ago too. Like he said, there's no Anthony Mackie. You're coming to this movie to see Falcon.
Yeah,
which
and I'm like, wow,
is kind of like a really good amount of self-awareness there. So yeah, I mean, it's been
Anthony
a big
Mackie,
controversy.
a really good actor, known for other things.
There was The Man. He was in a movie called The Man. One of my favorite comedies of all time. Samuel L. Jackson,
that's
Eugene
a good
Levy.
movie. Yeah.
That's like probably the first place I saw him. And then I went back and watched that after watching like Winter Soldier, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Falcon.
Do you know
that's
what? Want to hear the weirdest Anthony Mackie fact?
Yeah, let's hear it.
He was in 8 Mile.
Really? No,
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
He rapped in that movie.
Wow. And that's another thing, like you just start noticing these people after they've been in like this big budget stuff, whereas like I would even put Tom Cruise in the category of actors where it's like, with Leonardo DiCaprio or Tom Hanks, where it's like you can't really define them to this one role. If you go see a Tom Cruise movie, you're in for like an action movie of some kinds, whether that's like a Top Gun movie or like a Mission Impossible movie or something like that. Like he kind of has a few defining roles.
His dramatic roles are really good though.
Yeah. He's still one of those guys though that I think you could classify as a traditional Hollywood star. It's weird. I kind of hope we get that traditional Hollywood star back.
Honestly, I think Timothée Chalamet can get there.
Yeah.
And what's his name? I'm kind of blanking on actors right now. Usually this is like my forte, but I'm blanking right now. So keep it going.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, I could see that.
Honestly,
Honestly,
I got excited.
I think I could also see Anya Taylor-Joy doing that as well. Like she was in the New Mutants, but no one saw that. So who cares if she was already in a superhero movie?
I mean, and I would say Florence Pugh until she was in Black Widow.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I mean,
some of these actors, even thinking of like Margot Robbie, and she's a terrific Harley Quinn, don't get me wrong, but she was like a great actor before even appearing in any of the Suicide Squad movies.
Yeah, I mean, I know they gotta get a paycheck, but
yeah,
it's very nitpicky for us.
It's very nitpicky. I do agree though. I don't see it's become very controversial. I don't understand why it's that controversial. Like I've been like scrolling through comment sections on like Twitter and like TikTok and Instagram about those things, and it's like I'm not the kind of guy to respond to that, but it's like, wow, people get really upset when they say movie stars have kind of like, or the traditional understanding has died off, where it's just kind of a common sense thing now. We have a new definition. Times have changed. Oh well.
And like a lot of the movie stars are under heavy spotlights now, especially with like movies being like $1 trillion industry. It's quite wild.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, I think that is it for this episode.
Yeah.
Ashton, that was good. Honestly, that's one of the funner episodes we've done in a long time.
Honestly, it's kind of like back to basics, bare bones.
Yeah.
What just chillin' is, what the podcast is.
And yeah, this is why we do it, man. This was a lot of fun, man.
This is it.
Anything else before we wrap it up? Obviously, go to our Patreon /Nerds the Flannel Podcast. We also have God the Father, apparel.ca. Use the code Nerds the Flannel Podcast for 15% off your entire purchase. Also, we don't get money for it, but Cat and Soup is a very good mobile game. We might have just given it like free advertisement, but it's still a good game. At least I think it is.
Still a great game, apparently. I still have to try it out.
Yeah,
Gotta get
you're
that
more of
new
a dog
phone.
person, so I understand.
I'm more of a dog person. Yeah, it's whatever.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anything else, Ashton?
Yeah, I guess just stay tuned for some more exciting stuff we have. That year in episode is going to be crazy. We got like really ambitious with it, so
that's why we're taking our time.
That's why we're taking our time. We're going to do this one right.
For you guys.
It's for you guys. We love you guys. We don't say it enough. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 50.
50, man.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's insane.
Also, enjoy the video we made a year and a half ago, right after this episode.
Yeah.
It's about a 3-minute video. You guys will like it. And
are we putting this like just on the YouTube one?
Yes. It will not be on Spotify.
So if you're listening on Spotify, then be sure to go
hop to YouTube.
Pop to YouTube whenever you get home from your car ride or whatever. YouTube's free. Might as well check it out there. It's a fun video. It's a really fun video.
Yeah. Yeah. Ashton, thanks, bro. That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun, dude.
Well, guess what, guys? Until next time, I'm Nat.
And I'm Ashton.
And we are the Nerds in Flannel. Let's go.
Let's go.
I think that was okay.
I think we got it.
All right, see you guys.
Peace. Was that too hard?
Shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Mama said, fulfill the prophecy, be something great. Go make a legacy, manifest destiny. Back in the days, we wanted everything, Mama said, hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping. In your biographies, rewrite your history. Light up your wildest dreams, museum victories. Every day we wanted everything. Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love, and I'd hate